And when it comes to someone that is already diabetic, B1 is very important at protecting the kidnees. Really good research. Berberine has become one of the forefront, I would say. Wouldn't you?
I'd say it's probably leading the pack, yeah.
Yeah.
What other kind of foods can raise your A1C levels?
The starchy foods, the bread, any bread, I don't care what kind it is, bread, rice, pasta, potatoes, cereals. Breakfast cereals are the worst.
And desserts, I mean, of course.
Desserts, obviously the sugar.
Rank sugar, I mean,
birthday cake
sugar.
is right there at the top, right? Okay.
Yeah, so sugar. But all that, and when we're going to talk about the supplements today, and that can help diabetes, but the number one thing to do is change your diet. We always tell people that. When people come in, I tell them, there's not a drug on the market or a supplement on the market that will let you eat what you want and still control your sugar. Because if you have the genetic predisposition for diabetes and you do have a problem, the problem can be controlled, no doubt, but it's always going to be underlying. You know you're going to have the genetic predisposition for it.
And that genetic predisposition, if you think back, it was a survival mechanism thousands and thousands and thousands of years, back in the, the Paleolithic time period and all that. It was a survival mechanism because we didn't get to eat every day. You didn't get 3 meals a day. Might get one, maybe
Most
not.
of your meals probably consisted of meat.
A lot of meat and even whatever they could find. I mean, let's face it, they'd eat anything they could find, seriously. But a lot of meat. They knew the protein was probably real high on their list. But needless to say, today, you can't drive down the street that doesn't have 3 or 4 fast food places.
Food's so available that people are eating way too much as a whole, and they're eating the wrong foods most of the time. And a lot of it is because people get on the go and they're fast and they want to pick up something and they don't cook it themselves. Always cooking yourself is better because you know what's in things. A lot of places out put a lot of sugar because it makes it taste good. So, and everybody says, well, that's what I like. And it's like, well, everybody likes it. It's just, you got to say, is it worth it? And it makes a difference in your health and how you feel. So there's no doubt diet is number one when it comes to controlling and we're talking mostly about type 2 diabetes. Although type 1 diabetics still can benefit from eating better, and even some of the supplements can benefit them as well.
How about pre-diabetes? Can it be reversed?
I was going to say that, that we really need to start back there, the pre-diabetes, the insulin resistance. That's where it all starts. And unfortunately, Western medicine doesn't pay any attention to it. As long as they just look at the A1C, oh, your A1C is fine, you're good. May not be good. When we do lab work, we dig in, we look at your fasting insulin, we look at your fasting sugar, we look at your A1C, and so we got an idea of how much insulin is it taking to control, if you're in control, how much is it taking to control? Look at your triglycerides.
Yeah, even if your A1C is normal, if your insulin is high, that means you are at risk. And because insulin resistance is what turns into diabetes, and insulin resistance is after you've had too much insulin over long periods of time.
Guess where it can't work.
But the first clue is the triglycerides. So it doesn't matter if all of your sugar markers are perfect. If your triglycerides are high, it's coming if you don't change your diet.
Now, and not only that, let's back up, because if everybody says, well, I was in range the last time I did that. Okay, let me tell you a little bit about your range. Your range goes from like 0, which would be dead, okay? That ain't gonna happen.
Nobody has 0.
Nobody's got that one, okay? Up to about 149 on most labs. So if you've got a range of 148, you're still in range. Hate to tell you this, but you're not really good, because anything above 60, so go back and pull your little lab out or get on your portal and look at it. And if you were above 60, that's telling you you're starting, which most people are, and that's telling you you're starting insulin resistance.
Definitely over 80.
Yeah, well, they say, the researchers are saying 60, period. If it's above 60, you're starting insulin resistance. You may not be, you're in early stages of insulin resistance, but you're there. And so that's when we need to start paying attention to the diet and things like that. And it's not going to hurt you to even add some supplements.
And that's when the supplements can be the most beneficial, is trying to keep you from getting it.
Right.
And actually, when you start showing the insulin resistance and pre-diabetes, do something about it before it becomes diabetes. Now, yes, the supplements can still help if you're diabetic.
Oh, yeah.
But you want to not become diabetic. That's the whole
big
goal.
thing right there.
Yeah,
That's
the
the
goal.
big thing, right?
That's the
big
goal.
thing.
Is this diabetes? Is this something that is hereditary?
More than ever, we do see people that don't have it in their family. I sit down with people every day going over lab work, and I'm like, "You're pre-diabetic." Well, nobody in my family's diabetic. Well, you're going to be the first. You know what I mean? So it can start because of the way you're eating. And then we see people that their parents might be pre-diabetic and they're already diabetic because it's starting younger and younger because the people have eaten worse for more years. Now, when you start talking about the supplements that's actually good, there's like some of the common deficiencies that actually makes blood sugar worse. It's not necessarily what we use to lower sugar as much as we do to maintain, and things that you don't want to be deficient in. And one of them is vitamin D. And we've talked about vitamin D before being so important in so many different aspects in the body, and that's one of them. And magnesium. Magnesium plays a huge role in blood sugar control. It's used in 300 different processes in the body. And so blood sugar is one of them also, that without enough magnesium, you don't handle sugar as well. So there's some of the nutrients that they know that you really need to get. B1 can play a role too. And when it comes to someone that is already diabetic, B1 is very important at protecting the kidneys. We use an activated B1 called benfotiamine. And I think pretty much almost anybody that's diabetic should be taking benfotiamine to help protect the kidneys.
Well, even
it's been shown
prediabetes.
even prediabetes. It's been shown to reverse diabetic kidney disease. And the kidneys are the one thing that takes a big hit with diabetes, damages the kidneys a lot. So that's one thing that you want to do early. And one of the first signs of insulin resistance is high blood pressure. People don't realize that that's one of the first things you will see is high blood pressure. You want helping the kidneys also can help protect against that as well. And so can magnesium, and so can vitamin D. So some of your basic nutrients definitely are beneficial to take for probably almost everybody, just to keep the processes working properly.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's pretty important, just like I say, even the basic nutrients.
Yep. And then you've got things that are more specific for blood sugar control. Berberine, well, they've had some really good double-blind studies. And double-blind studies is when people don't know what they're taking. So they're not biased on which one's going to work. They don't know which one they got. So, you know, they don't tell them until the end of the study. And when they've actually done studies with even testing it against one of the control groups, one of the groups have taken metformin, which is very, very common diabetic medication. Another group taking Avandia, which is another diabetic medication, and another group taking berberine. Well, they find that berberine works as well as the medications in double-blind studies, but the berberine actually helped lipids better than the medications did.
It has an effect on your lipids, and triglycerides are part of your lipids. So it has an effect on that, and a beneficial effect. And it has, also when you start digging into it, the berberines have been looked at for cancer studies and so on. So, I mean, it's got a host of really good benefits in your whole body. So there's no doubt about that.
Now, some of the other big supplements for blood sugar control is alpha lipoic acid. I mean, alpha lipoic acid is definitely huge for that. We actually have alpha lipoic in a lot of different ways. We have a 300 milligram, we have a time-release 600 milligram, which we use a lot. And then we have it in our GSF, which is glucose support formula. And then we have our lipoic acid, and we have all kind of different things. And the lipoic acid doesn't only help the blood sugar control, it actually helps neuropathies and problems from damage from blood sugar. So it gives you multiple things that it helps.
It does. And another one, it's so simple, chromium. Now there's a specific kind of chromium we kind of go to. It's called polynicotinate or chromate. It's actually they got a registered trademark on that. But chromate is it has something called a glucose factor, and it actually, they've proven in research that this stuff actually helps get that sugar into those cells where you can use it for fuel and therefore getting it out of your bloodstream. So it's extraordinarily important, and we put that in our GSF as well.
And then there's the Gymnema sylvester, and that they said that actually it was named as a sugar destroyer. That's what the name means Ayurvedically, which honestly I'm not sure because I can't speak that language. But
I'll have to take your word for that.
Exactly.
I'm Dr. Fox, and I want to thank you for watching this YouTube video. Be sure and hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell so you'll be notified on any upcoming videos that we have coming up. And thank you again for watching our YouTube videos.